friends, I'm the vegan with a new strawberry cake. I want to make a strawberry cake and put the strawberries onto a pudding, a banana pudding with cashews. And I'll show you how in a minute. First I make the dough for the bottom. It's a small cake this time, just a small one. Here it is not even 20 centimeters, maybe 17 or so, 16, 17 centimeters. Lined with parchment paper, a springform, and I'd start right away with the dough. It's a food processor fitted with the S-blade here. That's what I always take for the dough most of the time. And I have 1.5 cups of almonds for a small springform. I don't need that much. And I will add some dates. Once the almonds have been processed to a meal, I will add the dates. That saves some time. So let's see what happens in a minute. Oops, I need juice. Without juice, there's nothing. I put you on hold for a second because I wanted to have a fine meal, not a coarse meal this time. I show you. Because once I put the dates in, the meal won't get much finer. It takes a lot of time then. So this is pretty fine from my usual procedure. Because I have a small springform today and I have this pudding for the strawberries, somehow I feel it should be finer, the dough. Oh, just a feeling. It's a small thing only, but small things matter also. And I have here about 10 dates, soft dates, pitted. So they go in here. And the third ingredient now is the vanilla. I have half a teaspoon of vanilla powder. Makes it nice, sensitive. Yeah, it's a nice spice with a very complex flavor. It's produced in a very complicated, long time process. You can't even find it raw. It's interesting. I didn't believe that before. And some raw food chefs, they even say, no, that is not possible, but you can find it raw. However, not so important. The flavor is very complex due to that long process when they make the vanilla. It's a flower, a petal. Really amazing. You have to lick it up. Very nice. And the flavor really makes you feel, open your heart. Yeah, vanilla is really, I like it. It's a lot. It's very expensive, of course, but a small amount goes a long way. Another processing now. Now it's perfect, I would say. Let's see. It took maybe 3 minutes or so. It depends on your food processor, how soft your dates really are, how dry they are, and so on. But what counts in the end is that you find that point where it is not too sticky, but sticky enough to keep together. When you cut the cake into pieces, yeah, that's okay. Then the pieces should keep together. And at the same time, it should not be a marzipan. At least if you don't want the marzipan. Usually I want a dough that is still fluffy. It's not just like a marzipan. Marzipan, it should be fluffy and light still. It's only nuts and dates, mainly. So of course there's always some weight, of course. But if you over-process it, and you have this marzipan, and it's very heavy. But it's all up to you. You can make a marzipan. The marzipan is also nice. But it was when I remember when I made my first raw food cakes, that was the main point where I was concerned. I didn't find the right point. How long to process? Because I had no experience, had never done it before. I had a new food processor, and then I was trying, and finally I got to it. But now to me it's a very simple, very easy. But I know when you do it the first time, you might be a little bit concerned how to make it. So I'll talk a little bit about it, yeah, and show you how every single step works, the results. So that might be, for some people, it might be a little bit boring, but I guess for the people who do it the first time, it might be very interesting. It takes a little bit the fear to get it wrong, and it's easy. It's easy. You don't have to over process it. And once in the food processor, you see these waves, these waves in the dough, and then you know it comes to an end, and you should stop and check, and then you can always do a little bit more. So, but now here, first I spread the dough evenly everywhere, and then I begin to use my knuckles and press it down firmly to get this firm texture. So I have it now. Now the sides, the fingertips, the sides of the dough have to be pressed together a little bit, because that is where I cut in, and there's where the greatest adhesion should be working. Always the sides. Very important, like the frame. Yeah. Aesthetics. Yeah. So now I get one round here, and I'll show you in a moment. You see, it's just shiny a little bit. It's a nice dough, and it's still a little bit of fluffiness, and that's what I want. I put it aside, and the next step now, I make the pudding. Yeah, it's very easy. The pudding is easy. I love this combination of bananas. I have 5 bananas here. Will give me a nice quantity of pudding. 5 bananas, ripe bananas, of course, the brown dots, outside. And 1 lime, peeled. And the lemon or lime, if you have a lemon, take a lemon. It's okay. And I will add the cashews right away. Here, I have a cup of cashews. Maybe a 3/4 of a cup. That depends. The more cashews you take, the more it gets a firm, heavier pudding. Because if you only have the bananas and the lime, then the pudding gets more like a gum, a rubber. Because another ingredient, the last ingredient I'll show you in a moment, will be the gum. So, oh, I forgot to show you, cinnamon. Here I show you the trace. That's my cinnamon. Another, I showed you before with the vanilla together. It's 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. It's already in there, sorry. So now I will blend it up. The bananas, the lime, the cashews, and the cinnamon. One is missing, we'll see. Because the blender didn't want to pull down the bananas to really blend it. It's stuck for a while. I knew that would happen because I didn't put water in it. I didn't want to put water in it this time because I want to have it, the more water I put in, the more binder, the more Psyllium husk I would need. Here, this is Psyllium husk, and it is a ground Psyllium husk. Usually it's gross, you buy it. The shells of the Psyllium husks, they are the Psyllium that is larger, the pieces here larger. I ground it to make it very fine because my pudding, I want it fine, a creamy pudding. And if you take the gross Psyllium husk, as you can buy it in the shop, then it is more like a gross pudding, like a farina or something. But here I show you my pudding without the farina, without the psyllium husk. Here, it's like, it's not firm enough to hold together the cake. Nothing would happen, it would run away. If I put it like this into the cake, my cake wouldn't work. It would be a pudding, and it should be a cake. And that's always the thing, that's one of the most important things when you make a cake, a raw fruit cake. How will I make it firm, the filling? I usually take whole fruit for it, to make it easier, because the whole fruit, they keep the dough or the cream together. And but I have to take some kind of a binder usually. It depends a lot on the ingredients I use. There are ingredients like orange, for example. They firm up by themselves because of the pectin in the orange. Blueberries too. They have also pectin and they firm up, they gel up, or chia seed or so. All these ingredients have different qualities in terms of firming up, texture. But the bananas, they won't firm up. They are just creamy. Here, show you what I have here. This is my cream, my pudding. Not yet pudding, wanna-be pudding. And now I need something, a tool, that's important. Here. Oops, a tool to stir the extra fine psyllium husk in. That is important because if I put it in right there without this tool, it might be lumpy. I do it a lot. Yeah? I stir and stir and stir, and I begin very carefully. Important here to be careful to stir it in. And I don't need the whole quantity. I just would say for 5 bananas and a cup of cashews, I would use 1.5 tablespoons of ground psyllium husk seed. They were a little complicated, I guess. So again, 5 bananas, 1 cup almost of cashews, and 1.5 tablespoons, not heaping tablespoons, psyllium husk, ground psyllium husk. It's a difference if you take ground or not ground psyllium husk. The ground is a very small quantity, and you have much more. So now it begins to firm up, and that's exactly what I want. It will be pretty quick. Then it firms up, and before I put the strawberries in, here that's what I want to do. I put a little bit of the cream on the bottom. On the bottom of my form. Here, I'll take a spoon. 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons maybe. Can I show you what I do? And this is important because otherwise the strawberries, they would fall off the cake, they would roll down. This is like a glue, between the bottom, spreading it evenly, and the strawberries. The main part of the filling here are the strawberries. I don't have that much today. I don't want to say one word about the strawberries. That's funny. You see, they are small strawberries. Now they have become very red. And they are, when I bought them, they were small and rather, I would say a little bit, I would say that not the beautiful strawberries I used to have in the other health food shop. They are so big and so happy. But the big ones, the beautiful ones, they were a little bit disappointed because they were not so sweet and they were wilted pretty fast. I kept these strawberries for more than 3 days or 4 days out of the fridge. And look, they are now really red and super sweet. And at first they were so unattractive. But now they turn out to be really the good ones. I was surprised. But now I'm very happy I have them. I cut them, I cleansed them, cut them into smaller pieces to have a nice filling for my cake. And which I could leave them now like this. You just put them down here into my cake, into the cream and the pudding, and that would be fine. But after a short while, these would turn bad. So I put the rest of my cream on top. Not sure if I should use some more psyllium husk. I put some more. I'm not sure if that would be firm enough for my cake, so I put some more. I guess it would firm up. Yeah, but to make sure. It is not so nice if you have too much, then it would also taste a little bit different. Psyllium husk is not so neutral than with others, yeah. But it gets a nice texture, and that's as important here. I need the binder. I need the firm structure to hold my cake together. That's why I rather do a little bit more than too little. I have a little bit too much here, but you can be sure if you have 1.5 tablespoons of psyllium husk, yeah, and 5 bananas, and 1 cup of cashews, and ground psyllium husk, 1.5 tablespoons of ground psyllium husk, then you're pretty sure that it works. So this is my strawberry cake, and I guess it will firm up. Everything will be fine. I just make it nice on the surface here a little bit with a scraper, make it nicer, a nicer shape. You can see some of the strawberries on top peeking out. Yeah, so they are safe now, covered, so they won't waste for a while. Kindly enjoy another strawberry cakes. I'm sure next time I will do some more strawberry cakes. I love them. Strawberries are getting more and more now, riper and sweeter, and the more sweet and ripe they become, the more I feel inspired to make a new cake. So let's see. But this one, let's see what you think about it. I would be glad if you subscribe and leaving on YouTube. See me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. So far.